Hi everyone, Talia from Zart Art, and today we're going to be creating blackout poetry. So blackout poetry is an art form where you use a page of text. So this could be text from a magazine, a newspaper, a book, or you could print out your own text like I have here. So all you do is pick out a few words from the text. These words could work together to create a sentence, or they could be completely abstract, but all you need to do is pick out those words and highlight them in the page. So these are two very simple examples that I've created here. As you can see, you can choose to black out most of the page and keep your words visible, or you could just choose to block out sections, which will also make your words the focal point of the piece, but you still have a lot of text that is visible. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the process, and we're going to create a more complicated version of one of these blackout poetry pieces. So now we're just going to start off with a page of text. So this is an article about Frida Kahlo that I copied and pasted off the internet into a Word document and printed it out. If you've got something in your house that you can use, then definitely try and recycle something if you can. But otherwise, with your page of text, all you're going to do is with a pencil, map out some words that stand out to you. So these could just be words that you like, words that you're interested in. You can try and make a sentence from the start, or you can just pick out words here and there. So as I'm going, I'm just picking out words which stand out to me. Some are long words, some are quite simple words, but as I'm going through, I'm also looking to try and make a sentence. So I don't know what the whole sentence is going to be at the start, but if I pick words next to each other that make sense as we go along, then you'll find that you create your own sentence without even trying. Okay, so now I've picked out a few words and they make a sentence. They don't always have to make sense. Of course, you can just pick random words as well, but I'll stick with these words, and as you can see, I've just mapped them out in pencil. So with my marker, I'm going to start drawing some shapes, some patterns and forms around these words, making sure that I don't block them out. I've just got a nice thick permanent marker here. If you've got a texter, that will be fine too. And you might want to make sure you've got something underneath your paper, especially if you're working on a thin piece of cartridge, just so your black marker doesn't go through the other side. So I'm just going to find a nice big area of space, and I'm going to start drawing some flowers, some patterns and things. You might want to stick to a theme. So if your story says something about the moon or the ocean, then you might want to do a scene that incorporates a moon or a ship or some stars, something like that, if you do want to connect your poem to the imagery as well. Now I've drawn some of my larger images over the text. Now what I'm going to do is just draw a box around my highlighted words, or you could do a circle or another shape if you choose. But I'm just going to block those out, and then I'm going to just use lines and some other patterns over the rest of the words just to cover them a little bit so your eye's directly drawn to those words that I've highlighted. So now we've blacked out most of the words, and we can see that the words that we've chosen are still quite intense and they're very noticeable with that big broad mark that's around it. Now you could leave it as is if you like to work in black and white, but I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to these bigger forms because this will draw your eye away from some of the words that are within those forms, and it will make the work look a little bit more interesting with a pop of colour. Okay, so now I've finished my drawing, we've added a little bit of colour, and we've got our poem here, intensely tumultuous paintings, once an important fantastical story. So we've tried to make a sentence, incorporate some of the images which will work with either the story that you're drawing over the top of or the poem you've created. So I've tried to use some bright colours in this, as Frida often would use some bright colours in her own works, as well as some flowers, not in her style, but just adding your own sense of style to it. But you could make lots and lots of different types of these blackout poetries. So you can completely black out the whole page so you can't see any of the other words at all. You can just do shapes and abstract forms, but it's really up to you. These are just a few options that you can go for. We hope you enjoyed this activity and we look forward to seeing you again soon.